pleased to welcome our last speaker of this spot, and that is Riika Nousiainen. Riika is one of the founding partners at Nomadi Landscape Architects in Helsinki in Finland, and which specializes in socially and ecologically responsible solutions. In her work, she strives to improve the ecological state of the environment and strengthen the people's connection with nature. And also she's especially interested in considering the perspective of children in landscape architecture. Please welcome Riika.
So hello everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me here today. It's really nice to be here. So you already heard the introductions, but once again, I'm a landscape architect and I come from Finland. I'm one of the founding partners of Nomadi Landscape Architects. And here you can see the others. We founded our office about 7 years ago. And maybe at that time, in Finland, the focus of landscape architecture were more in design and visual perspectives than ecology and sustainability. But we chose those values as cornerstones of our work. And after that, we have strengthened our team, and nowadays we are about 13 landscape architects and 2 architects. We do a wide range of projects, both for the public and private sectors. But today I will show you a couple of our projects and how we have used nature-based solutions. This was our very first philosophy, I could say. We like to bring forests into the cities. We are thinking that having forests or even some parts of it benefits biodiversity. So we implemented this idea in the so-called summer streets of Helsinki. During this summer, some of the streets were transformed for pedestrians, and we were responsible of the concept and the design. We wanted to make them wild. We said like wild summer streets, and we brought forest elements and new places to hang around. And of course, the main theme was here raising climate awareness. And this is what happened. People came, and also the other animals like insects and butterflies. And one focus here was to pay attention to the children. For example, we provided these cones to play with. And of course, this was only a temporary thing, but maybe someday this kind of streets could happen. Okay, and another project that was inspired by Finnish forest was this unique courtyard next to a railway station. So this is just in the middle of the city. There was a renovation where some of the parts of the former railway station office spaces were transformed to the hotel. And our idea was to create a hidden garden where hotel guests could experience the nature. But these old buildings, they are established on wooden piles. So to avoid structural decay, anoxic underwater conditions and stable groundwater levels are required. So we created there in the middle of the yard this kind of rain garden. So the runoff waters are filtered through the vegetation to prevent the groundwater levels won't decline. And the overflow is directed to sewer system. I just wanted to point out that if there is a will, nature-based solutions are possible in the middle of the city. And here you can see some of the pictures of the rain garden. Then another philosophy, if I can call them so, is that we believe in child-friendly design. We are thinking that if we create like a successful city for children, so then we will create successful city for all. But that doesn't mean that then we only design like playgrounds or a schoolyard, but whatever we are doing, we are taking them into account. And we are just developing a toolkit for how we can do it better. But here I have one example of learning environments that we have done. This is Siponlahti schoolyard. But outside of office school hours, all the residents can come here. So it's more like the open park, no fences or anything. And when we are designing these kind of places for kids mainly, we also make sure that there are spontaneous opportunities to spontaneous movement. So because nowadays kids are moving too little. For example, we have a skateboarding friendly area in the middle, but it's shaped like the butterfly, so something else could also happen there. Also, nature connection is important. And on this yard, there's really many tree species and vast areas of meadows. And all the stormwater runoff from the whole area is directed into a wetland. And of course, the wetland will be, or it is, very interesting learning environment. And for example, here pupils can gather there on the deck and learn things. Then third philosophy, everybody should have an easy access to the nature. This Lammassaari project, nature trail project, was to improve the nature trails. This area is the largest nature conservation area in Helsinki. This wetland, it's really central in Helsinki, and the area is surrounded by the growing city. The existing duck boats were looking like on that picture there, and it was chosen that that they are replaced with new, fully accessible boardwalk. So now you can come with a wheelchair or trolleys. And actually, that's the structure is so that when it's flooding, those elements can move a bit. And also accessible birdwatching towers were made. And this has become a really popular place. And nowadays, it is one of the city's attractions. So it's evident that how the design is increasing the public interest and hence promoting the outdoor life and healthy way of living. Okay. Then I wanted to say a couple of words of Green Factor tool, because in Finland we are also using that. Like maybe 4 or 5 cities in Finland is using it. And for example, in Helsinki, it's compulsory in all the new city detail plans. And myself, I have found it very useful when talking with construction companies. They usually understand numbers, and so it's easy to talk with them. And here's one example of that table. I just wanted to show how it looks like and what kind of things there are. So you have to define existing vegetation, new vegetation, pavements, surfaces, how stormwater management is done, and plus there's these bonus elements. They can be, for example, planting boxes, or if you are using typical trees for Helsinki, you get good points. So there you can see the target value, which in this area was 0.9, and we just got it. So this calculation was made for this project, Postipuisto courtyard, and it looked before like this. It's a new housing area in Helsinki. It used to be a logistic center of post office, and this was our plan. The yard is surrounded by multi-story housing, and in the middle you can see sauna, like in Finland we have there everywhere. So I have just a couple of pictures showing how the yard looks now when we have used this tool. So a lot of tree species, perennials, meadows, those planting boxes, and that sauna has a green roof, but we can see it here. And also like permeable or semi-permeable surfaces were used. But a big part of this Finnish green factor tool concentrates on the stormwater management. So you get higher points when you are using nature-based solutions, like here we have this rain garden in the middle. So then I have a last project here, Verkkosaari low carbon green block. There was also this factor used. This was architecture competition, and we made this with Anttinen Oiv architects, and we won this. And the evaluation of this competition praised low carbon and environmental values, and also the green factor. So we tried to make the factor as high as possible. And the factor is very high here because of the green heart of the yard, and there's a soil connection, so that allows to grow large trees, and more natural movement of water is possible there. But nowadays we are making detailed plans of it, and hopefully this will be as green as it looks on these pictures. But I hope you get some nice ideas and inspiration of this. So thank you very much.